Chop his body, put him in a bag. Murder, murder, every time that 45 blasts. Lame ass bitches, I'm the devil's bastard.
When I catch a frog ass bitches,
I'm a blaster.
Lame ass bitches start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a blaster. Lame ass bitches start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a blaster.
Well, it's that dodging and not camouflaging. I'm just lodging, looping, smoking, joking, boating in my coffin, looking, choking up. I'm coughing, broken open, that I'm overdosing, toting glass, but never spoken, soaking thoughts. I'm sure you not the bitch I said you was, but you still a pussy boy. You's a boy, you's a pussy boy. Shout out Jake Green and them schemer boys, suicide boys for life. 5'9" and hustle family tight. Fuck a copyright, I'll let you bite as much as you want. Like the blood, every night I start talking stuff, the bodies in the trunk and then I fucking grunt. You say you're naughty from me cause I fuck your bitch, you punk. You say you're naughty from me cause I fuck your bitch, you punk.
Say he hard, but I don't believe him. He's so full of bulk, I ain't never seen him. See it's Jay Green with the suicide boys, and we in that hoop ride. We been the corners, man, bout to make a stain. When you see the black rain, you gon' feel the pain. See you's a pussy boy, I took a pussy boy. She sucking on my dick while I press record. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Jay Green, them suicide boys. Yes, sir. Y'all niggas ain't with the shit. You ain't gon' pull up. You might as well kill your motherfucking
I'm a blaster. Lame ass bitches start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a blaster. Lame ass bitches start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a blaster. Start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a blaster. Lame ass bitches start shit like a bastard. When I catch a frog ass bitches, I'm a
Sipping lean, caffeine with codeine. I'm smoking nicotine. PCP, pills in my cuisine. I'm fucking Drake Sway. Risk dismay, suicide, renegade. Pop a couple waves up in my grave. Carving my skin with a blade. I don't fuck with squillers, no drug dealer. Stealer with the sealer. Sick of that always wreck. Bitch get checked. Great 5'9" to set. Chop 'em, make 'em wet. Watch me flex. Y'all just second best, never second guess. Manifest, stripper, 6 to death.
We ain't my motherfucking true name. If I roll it down, it will combust into a blue flame. Blue gang banging out cruise lane. Body in the suitcase, polo body bag full of bootlegs. Two-face bitch, sick of duck. Got your bitch lay your goose eggs. 2 fangs, going got a toothache. Tie me up like a shoestring. Let the new sang out of my box. I need a new frame. Ruby the cherry ain't got a pocket full of fruitcake. Bruce Wayne, wonder big. Fuck with me, I'll probably give you something free. Honey surrounded around me, cause I'm buzzing like a fucking bumblebee. Most of my raps are fucking tongue in cheek. Fungus in my lungs, got the rich come to weed. Another day, another feet. All the fucking dirty, you will find me underneath.
coming for the fetty. I hate to disappoint you, slaves me down in gray and black. Low out, riding in my grandma's Cadillac. Popping rocks, he's got 100 in my backpack. Full moon, so my eyes looking jet black. Just move back.
Fade away. Took a minute to get it lit and then even more to get it finished. Sipping Gatorade to take a ray. I rape the blade and blame the flame. I save the fame for later days. A gator change up in the lake. But burly fucking gaining brain. I train the pain by draining cake. I aim to rain, my vein is stained. I say the same, I never change. Don't pop champagne, I make okay. I stay away from flashing lights. I pay my way straight to the bank.
All right. Yo. Welcome. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Just gonna settle in for a moment. You guys know the drill. Gonna run through the same stuff we run through every week. We'll start off with Bitcoin macro, move down the time frames into medium time frame on Bitcoin, jump into some ETH, jump into some Solana, do various altcoins. I'm mostly fixated on memes and RWA these days, but we'll take a dive into some other stuff as well. So yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions, specific topics you want me to address, etc., just throw it in the chat and I'll always do my best. Just about to start here. Got 82 of you in here and 16 likes. If you could press that like button, I would appreciate it. Turn down the background music just a smidge. It's hard to tell from my point of view. All right. So as I said, hopefully everybody's doing well. You can get started here in about 15-30 seconds. Interesting what's happening with the corn right now. Trying to break through 70K, which is my line in the sand. So yeah, we'll address that. Make sure you're drinking water. So I get this question a lot, and I never really answered super direct. Question: how long did it take you before you were profitable trading? I always word it in an indirect way because there's a difference between making money from markets versus being actually profitable as a trader. I was fortunate to be lucky enough to make money from markets before I had any fucking clue what I was doing, so I always word it that way. Realistically, though, most people's timelines that they give you are going to be shorter than reality, right? People will say, oh yeah, I became profitable in a year. Like, no, you fucking didn't, bro. Like I said, right, you could have some trades that make you money and people consider that being profitable. I considered that transition to profitability when I felt like my systems were actually, you know, like I could make money without knowing what I was doing. Just running my systems is kind of the argument I would make versus just getting lucky on things like Chainlink, for example. You bought a blender? Nice, dude. Smoothie recommendations. So one thing that I learned recently, I need to verify this, but I got it from a decent source. You don't want to put bananas in your smoothies, guys, because there's some sort of like enzyme in bananas that counteracts a lot of the benefits that you're getting from the berries and stuff. So if you put blueberry in your smoothie, don't do banana, because it removes a lot of the really big benefits from the blueberries. So I'm actually doing less bananas these days because I love blueberries and other berries and stuff. Berries have a ton of really great you know, nutrients and antioxidants and whatnot, but if you throw a banana in there, it like cancels out the effects, which is wild. Same as pineapple. Interesting. I don't really ever eat pineapple. Pineapple doesn't seem like the kind of fruit that was actually good for you. It's too, pineapple tastes too good and it's too juicy. It's got to be bad for you. Got constipated off bananas? That's crazy, bro. What the how many bananas were you putting in your shakes? Spinach is good in smoothies. Yeah, so alright, this isn't how I planned on starting off the stream. You guys can thank Lear for this. I do pretty much the same smoothie most every days. I do strawberry, I do blueberry, I do all my like standard shit that I start off with, like protein powder and creatine. I do kale, I do spinach, and when I'm trying to gain weight, I put other things like olive oil. Blueberries and bananas do go well. It's an absolute travesty that bananas cancel out some of the positive effects of blueberries because they go perfectly together. A whole one, just one banana gave you constipation, Fern? Bro, there had to be something else going on in your life, because I've had plenty of days where I'll eat 2 and 3 bananas in a day and have no issues. Alright, we got JSEC. It's going to be the nerd. Bromelain, the enzyme that helps digest meat. We got some fucking data scientists and nutritionists in the chat now. Strawberry, blueberry, powders, kale, spinach, but olive oil. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I put other stuff in it sometimes when I want to get more calories in it. Heard the woman on Joe Rogan. I probably got it from her. Her name's like Rhonda something. I've been watching her videos. She seems pretty fucking smart. Yogurt is a great thickener. Yeah, I don't always do yogurt, but yeah, you are correct. A lot of times I just eat my Greek yogurt by itself as a little snack during the day. Damn, we got some fucking smoothie nerds up in the chat. Blueberry, kale, protein. Oh, cacao. Interesting. Matcha. I like that list. Coconut oil, that's interesting. I bet coconut oil makes it fucking awesome. Does he know the banana goes in your mouth? Crazy. Been using the anchored VWAP since you've been giving tutorials on it. It's great with the visible range profile. Yes, it is. I was wondering if you could give an example of what to look for when looking for scalp triggers. Yeah, Thiz, can you do me a favor and just remind me to maybe discuss that later in the stream? I don't want to start the stream off with that conversation, but yeah. I don't mind talking about that. What diet do top traders use? There isn't some sort of, you're saying carnivore or keto. I don't think any of that shit matters, right? Just like whatever works for you as an individual. I don't follow any sort of specific diet. I just eat generally healthy and then do like maybe 2 to 3 bad meals a week. Bad meals as in pizza or something. Fucking Nikki, you're LARPing for me in the chat. I'm not a huge guy, but I'm for sure in shape these days because I've been at it for a while now. Probably get this question a lot, but what's the top indicator in the top right that's showing monthly, quarterly value area high and lows? So the current screen you're looking at isn't showing monthly like you said. So just really quickly, right? I had the Paragon VWAP suite, which shows higher time frame VWAPs, and then we have the scalp one, which shows daily and weekly levels. So they're both VWAP indicators. Gotta have some junk sometimes. Facts, orangutan. You can't always eat healthy. Like, it's actually good for you, in my opinion, from like a mental standpoint, to like one night just do pizza and beers or whatever, right? And just eat shitty. Lemon zest is great. What are you doing? I don't know how to say your name, bro, so I'm not even gonna try it. What are you doing? You squeezing some lemon juice in there, or you putting some lemon shavings? How are you doing that, my guy? That's interesting. What gym do you go to? So I have a pretty nice gym I go to, but I also have a home gym. So I work out at home probably like 4 days a week and go to the gym like once or twice. I mostly go to the gym for leg day, if I'm being honest. Social security number? Yeah, I got you, bro. Is your thesis still risk off? Yeah, it is. That is subject to change. Moving in the direction of starting to talk about Bitcoin here in about 30 seconds, we'll get into Bitcoin. But yeah, my thesis still is risk off. Good to hear you're in great shape. How many kilometers do you run per session? Well, I know, Lucifer, you're trolling everything you say, but no, I don't run. I do bike, jump rope and other things. I hate running. I walk a lot though. Lemon zest the peel. Okay, facts. That's interesting. Home gym blessed. Yeah, very, very lucky. I have a full home gym. Could add chia seeds. Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about chia seeds and like flax seeds and other seeds. I already get those from my oatmeal blend that I do. They're just in there and I don't even realize it. Microplane is the best for zest and grafting. What the fuck? Never heard of that. Alright. So enough flurping about health. Flax seeds is bad for testosterone. Honestly, the more you get into health stuff, the more you realize that everything is either really good or really bad for you, and some things are good and bad for you. It's such a fucking clusterfuck of trying to find what you should actually do. You'll be eating bananas your whole life and then realize you're not supposed to eat bananas because they're bad for you for this reason. It's actually fucking annoying. Magus doesn't need to run, he just levitates. Crazy. Need to get Nikki on the payroll as my fucking hype man. Everything's okay in moderation. Well said. Health in this economy? Yeah, crazy, right? Now, this one thing I'm doing this cycle, I'm not letting my health fall apart. Last cycle, I had really bad habits in 2020 and especially in 2021. I got so skinny in 2021 to the point where I was feeling like shit all the time. I was also abusing substance, so being basically emaciated and abusing substance, it was a bad place for me. So I'm never gonna let my health fall behind. Guys, I know that this is such a boring cliche thing to hear, but what is the point of having money if you're not healthy? Like, you're just gonna end up spending your money to try to live anyways, so you might as well be healthy from the beginning, or at least strive in that direction. Taking fish oil for years, saw a study saying it's bad. That's tough. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we need those oils from fish. Get the omegas. Been busy ignoring my health a little bit. I'm gonna have to bully you into getting your shit together. Oh yeah, true. I'm gonna have to fight you, J-Sick. Or who am I supposed to be fighting? Schiller? More gym equals better trading, at least for me. Facts, facts. What lessons did you take from last cycle? Damn, Nikos. That's like a 4-hour ramble right there. What did I learn last cycle? Just rambling off the top of my head. I learned how to respect momentum. Momentum, you know, in crypto, we always go up higher than you expect and lower than you expect. So being a momentum respecter is a big deal for me last cycle. I learned a lot of like psychological and game theory concepts last cycle that I use a lot more these days in my trading, trying to be a game theorist a little bit more. Not to the point where I am playing 5-dimensional chess against myself or anything, but just a little bit. I learned to joke around and have fun a lot last cycle, right? That's definitely something I really wove in. Like I had just said, I learned to place emphasis on my health. You know, I could go on and on about what I learned last cycle. It's pretty hard for me to just whip all that stuff off top of my dome. Alright guys, so I'm going to ignore chat for a minute because you guys are going to keep throwing me off on the tangents and stuff. I'm going to get into some Bitcoin here. So I'm going to start off with the high time frame and then we'll work our way down. As far as macro goes, there's no, you know, immediate updates that need to be had. We're just more or less leaving where we were last week, right? Which is, you know, point number 1, trend respecter, still in a massive uptrend, right? Massive uptrend. We are building out this larger, like, 3-month range here. We're patiently waiting for a break, you know, from this value. As I'm, you know, what I'm looking for essentially is to build time up above 70K, above previous all-time high. If we see that, then that would be a sign to go risk on again. So my core thesis, you know, from March or maybe even as early as February on was, you know, chop people up in the summertime. I think that things have changed a little bit, though. I want to make that point that with the Ethereum ETF getting approved, and potentially we're going to start to see more flows into ETH. I think that expedites our range break because if ETH is going to be strong, Bitcoin's not going to be weak, right? If ETH is going to trade up, then Bitcoin will 100% do the same thing. Same thing with Solana and basically every large cap. And then that'll also be a good you know, that'll pave the way for all the stronger altcoins to move up as well. So basically, if ETH can maintain strength, then everything's going to trade up together. So for the time being, I'm still risk off. Been risk off on Bitcoin for a while now. I'm not going to rush into cutting my hedge just because we have one green day. I don't give a shit about a day like today. It's not going to affect my plan at all. So essentially, you know, we're ranging between 60 and 70K. I want to see us build value and actually start to spend time over 70K. Structurally, this doesn't look terrible. We'll look at it on medium time frame in a minute. But yeah, I mean, there's really no major updates to be had on Bitcoin higher time frame. I still have the same thesis that we're going to chop people up. That starts to get invalidated if we, you know, the longer we spend over 70K, the more likely my summertime chop thesis is to be invalidated. So I still have all my core spot positioning. I actually did change some things around, sold a couple things, bought a couple new things, but essentially I'm still holding the same core spot stuff. So if I end up closing on my hedge, I'm just going to go spot long again and look for opportunities to get long on derivatives as well. I'm not going to, you know, one of the big lessons I've learned in the past with hedging is to not just kind of confirm your invalidation too quickly, right? So just because we're trading up over 70K, which is what I wanted to see, doesn't mean that I need to just panic close out my hedge because things can change quickly in just a matter of a couple of hours, right? We could get bonked back down, be back below 70K, and all of a sudden we want to be risk off again. So I'm not going to rush into any dramatic changes. So that's pretty much it for Bitcoin higher time frame, right? Like I do think that we're going to trade up. It's just a matter of, do we trade up this month, next month, a couple months from now? You know, I would say basically at the latest it would be October, at the earliest it would be this month, or, you know, really like for my own timeline, July made more sense. But again, the ETH ETF is definitely expediting the range break on Bitcoin. So we'll digress from that. I'm going to catch up with chat and then we'll get into VWAPs and medium time frame. Look at SHIB. Yeah, so you guys can chill out on your tickers. Once I get to altcoins, I'll look at tickers. Do you have favorite books on game theory? Not really, man. Like, it's definitely a topic I'm really interested in, but I think that like the main ways that I'm learning more about game theory, which this kind of lesson ties into basically all of how you would learn about trading. I don't think it's worth really caring that much about books and stuff, and it's better to just get in there and gamble, basically. So, you know, like a lot of the game theory stuff I'm learning not from reading a book or watching a video, but from talking with friends. Not necessarily that I'm learning from them, but I'm just hearing their points of view, which gives me a more rounded out way of looking at things. Also, I play, you know, video games, not competitively anymore like I did when I was younger, but I still want to be good when I play games. So yeah, I mean, just active trading and playing games, that's how I've gotten better at game theory. I'm not even gonna sit here and say I'm like some sort of expert on it or anything. It's just something I'm, just like with psychology, game theory, these are just topics I'm interested in. The type of personality that if I'm interested in something and motivated to learn about it, then I will, with or without, you know, I don't need resources or anything. I'll just figure it out with time. So when I'm interested in, I don't know, maybe some of you guys can relate to that. If I'm not interested in a topic, I'm not going to learn it, right? When I was in school and there was a topic I didn't care about, I would just not learn anything. If there was a topic in school I was interested in, all of a sudden I fucking knew all this stuff about that topic. So I think people can probably relate to that. What's going on with Berkshire Hathaway? Couldn't fucking tell you, brother. I don't know. Are you vegetarian or vegan? Definitely not. I don't really have anything against any of that stuff. To each their own, but no, I'm not. Can you show your trading view price alerts on Bitcoin and why? I mean, I just have them in like key areas, right? So, you know, I don't know why I don't have an alert at the range low, but, you know, have alerts. I almost always put more than one alert in the key areas, right? So range high alerts, mid-range alert, range low alert, you know, 52K alert. This is one of the kind of steeper pullback areas. So, right, I mean, I just have alerts in key areas where I might want to know that Bitcoin is trading there and wake the fuck up and maybe click some buttons, you know? What up, Doc? Thoughts on AI having a second run? I definitely think that AI will have a second run, but I'm not focused on AI right now. Much more focused on memes and RWA, but AI I'm sure will have a big move eventually. It's just, I can't predict when it's going to happen. What traders did you learn from? Not that many, to be honest. Again, like a lot of the stuff is just from time. People that I learned stuff from, though, would be like my mentors, Sting and Tommy. Sting taught me a lot of order flow and systemization. Tommy taught me a lot of psychological stuff. I learned a lot of beta and altcoin momentum logic from Hasaka. Those are always like the three that come to mind. I haven't really learned that much from anybody else, to be honest. Every now and then I'll pick up a little thing from somebody, but that's pretty much it. Do you plan on doing a Paragon sale? At some point maybe, but not exactly sure when we would do that. We've already done discounts. It's just we don't, you know, advertise them a whole lot, to be honest. I don't really advertise that much to begin with. Real quick before I move on, though, to the next section, there's 140 of you in here and 35 likes, 36 likes now. If you could press like, I would appreciate that. Okay, so you guys have the Bitcoin higher time frame rundown. We will, let's do a quick VWAP scan. There's not going to be too much to say here, but we'll look at it anyways. So as far as the yearly goes, it's super bullish, right? There's absolutely nothing that you can say negative about it. Every element of the yearly structuring is very bullish right now. You know, trading above, consistently sloped upwards, using the value area high as support for a bit of the trend. As it stands, we're trading above the value area high right now. So yeah, I mean, I really, my gut tells me that we're not going to break out here, but because of the ETH stuff, I think that the likelihood of us breaking out is higher than originally was prior to ETH getting approved. So yeah, I mean, as far as yearly goes, super bullish. Different picture on the quarterly, right? The quarterly started out pretty bearish and has pivoted more towards a more optimistic approach. Essentially, we just want to see the quarterly continue to hold as support or see price trading above it. The longer we trade above the quarterly, the more bullish it's going to develop. Want to see the quarterly start to slope upwards. But overall, quarterly is neutral bullish. Monthly, or yearly max bull. Quarterly neutral bull. Monthly is, you know, obviously bullish, right? The May VWAP was super bullish, and the current June is pretty bullish as well. This fucking weekend price action that we got is just straight up hilarious, by the way. Classic weekend price structure. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I think that some of you guys do. Stop fucking trading weekends. I don't know why people do, right? Like, I have a simple rule, right? When we're in a raging bull market, I will trade the weekends. But 90, you know, maybe not 90, maybe call it like 85% of the time, I'm not trading the weekend. It's negative EV to trade the weekend unless you have like one or two select strong altcoins that you're paying attention to. So that's it for the VWAP stuff right there. Can't leave that little dot on my screen. I'm going to find it in a month and freak out. All right. Check chat really quickly, and then we'll move into medium time frames. Are you a full-time trader? And if so, when did you go full-time? I went full-time back in February of 2020. So yeah, if you haven't heard that story before, that was a pretty wild story for me. I'm not going to really tell it, but, you know, I've made tweets about it and talked about it on stream a lot. I quit in February, and then in March, Bitcoin went down 60%. So it was a very, very interesting start to trading full-time for myself. What's your favorite Windows command shortcut? All right, nerd. Where did you plot the quarterly VWAP? What do you mean? Where is it at? It's 665K. Oh, sorry, Bahamas. I think I missed a question from you earlier. Oh, you were trolling. How's it feel to be the biggest guy in the gym? That's not me. When the quarterly VWAP resets this month, would you still refer to the old VWAP until as the new one with more data? So yeah, it's kind of an interesting question, right? So yeah, how I look at it is that obviously, if you get a VWAP reset, and that VWAP has the new VWAP has very little data, right? It's got a couple days or something, and then you have another VWAP that has 3 months, right? Obviously, the one that has 3 months is going to have more significant, you know, value behind it than the one that has 3 days. So basically, as that plays out, I will put more weight into the newer one. I think the new always has more value for me, whether it's a VWAP or a composite or anything like that. Newer always is a reason to weight it more heavily, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a discretionary thing, right? Put more weight into things that have more more time built up into them, but also newer is better. So there's kind of like a dance that needs to be done there. If we get to all-time high, do you think we'll reject? I mean, we're so close to it. It's pretty tough for me to say. It's only $7,000. Off the top of my head, I would basically say if we don't reject around 70 and 71 where we're at now, maybe a little bit higher. If we don't reject soon, then it will go much higher, right? So I don't think it's going to go to 73K and reject. If it goes up towards 73, we're probably trading higher at that point. I think the rejection should happen at 70 or 71. Since we were on VWAPs, can you talk through the anchored VWAP scalp trigger? So yeah, I mean, just like I don't have anything super crazy to share with you, or that I want to share at least. I don't really want to talk about scalping specifically. I'll talk about just a more generalized answer, right? Is that more for medium time frames? What the fuck? My shit's bugging out. Right, so like doing the anchored VWAP, right? You're essentially just looking for structuring with the anchored, just the same as you would any sort of other VWAP argument, right? Is price above or below? What's the slope like? What's the structure like? So the perfect example right now is Tensor. Tensor listed, traded down, rejected off anchored, and now flipped anchored. So we're looking for it to use the anchor to support moving forward. I'm not in the scalper mindset though, because I don't really scalp that much these days. My intention last month was to scalp a little bit, but I just didn't really get into it. How do you go about picking shitters to trade, volume, open interest, or just scan for your setups? So it depends on what style of trading I'm doing. if it's intraday or, you know, basically anything beyond scalping, I'm going to be sticking with liquid things that are, you know, it's going to be more about what the chart is. Flip side, though, is with scalping. I don't really care what the chart looks like as much, and I just care about is it high activity, right? So I just want really high tick rates for scalping. I don't really want to look at Berkshire Hathaway, but I will really quickly. Berkshire Hathaway hedged. What the fuck is that? Motherfucker's got an inverse contract for his... Jesus Christ. What am I supposed to say about this thing? I got... How the fuck is one share of this dumbass company $600,000? Like, boomer shit's ridiculous. Do you use 4-hour or daily close for invalidation? I don't do either. I don't do time-based invalidations like that. Candlesticks for time-based, you know, trading for me it'd be more about, like, you know, the concept of time and volume, so creating value. I don't really care about 4-hour or daily close, anything like that. It's a meme in my opinion. Can you check Velo for Bitcoin? CBD is not making new highs, but open interest surged in the last few minutes. Why are you guys asking me to do shit like that I don't already have pulled up? Alright, if I pull this up, there better be something. Alright, you're saying CBD is not making new highs, but open interest surged. Open interest up, CBD is not making all-time highs. Bro, you're doing technical analysis on open interest and shit, so, like, just don't do that. What is it? So yeah, I see what you're saying, right? OI made, you know, a higher high, but CBD didn't. But what does it matter, my guy? Tell me why this like matters in any way, right? I mean, spot CBD is making a higher high. You guys got to stop like overthinking CBDs and shit like this, because the reality is you're not gonna get any. You probably don't have any edge from looking at this kind of stuff. Like, stop doing divergence analysis on open interest, this kind of shit. Erase it from your repertoire, my guys. You talk about some of your losing periods and how did you overcome them. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of heavy, but I can try to talk about that a little bit. So I mean, yeah, it's obviously not easy. You go through periods of sustained loss, and it's when those are the hardest periods in your career, not necessarily just from a point of view of not necessarily from a point of view of just having lost the money, but that's where your confidence gets shattered and you wonder if you should be doing this at all, right? I've competed in things like basically as far as I can remember, so maybe that set me up to be more equipped to deal with failure than other people. But yeah, I mean, it is just like a personal thing, right, where you just have to figure out a way to power through it, and you have to have that confidence that you really belong here doing these things. If you don't, then you're gonna give up. Which is what happens to most people. Most people either run out of money or run out of the will to continue. Those are the two things that take us out of the game. So I don't know, the best thing I could maybe say was just like it really comes down to balancing that humility and that ego. It's something I talk about in the Paragon all the time, that you got to balance the two. Without some level of ego, you won't have the belief in yourself that you can do it. Without the flip side, having the humility, you need the two to keep one another in check. You can't really survive in this game without both, and you need them to balance one another out. So yeah, it's a heavy topic. I could probably ramble on that pretty seriously for a while, but I don't want to take up the whole stream with it. But yeah, good question, Frank. Damn, my allergies are terrible today. My allergies have been bad recently. You guys can probably hear it in my voice. Are you bullish on runes? A lot of them looked bottomed out. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't make any runes plays yet. I like the rune stuff mostly just because some of my friends are super bullish on it. So when my friends that have proven track records are bullish on it, then that makes me real like say, okay, it's probably a good play. So yeah, I think that the rune stuff is a good play. I assumed it's some absorbing going on since CBD didn't make a higher high with price. Brother, it would be the opposite though, right? If it was absorption, you would be seeing CBD making a higher high, right? In order for it to be the classic absorption argument, you want to see price making an equal high or a lower high. Right, price and CBD making a higher high. That would be absorption, right? Because it's showing you that takers are pushing price up and they're making less progress. But generally speaking, that kind of order flow analysis isn't really going to give you guys a very actionable trade setup. That's why I don't teach those things. That's why I tell people to maybe steer clear of them. Went through a period like that, kept punting longs, blew most of my perp accounts, just total mental break. Felt like I was not smart enough to do it. Took a couple months off. Yeah, I mean, basically everybody goes through that, orangutan, and most people just give up. It's the classic Dunning-Kruger experience. Most of us do well at the beginning and then think we're smart and then start doing poorly and then realize how dumb we are. And then you got to make it out of the trough of despair, right? If you can make it out of that and start learning and start like having a more balanced approach. This is all ego. And this is H for humility, right? You gain ego, you gain humility. If you can survive the trough of despair, then you can make it as a trader. Problem is that most people just give up in the bottom of the despair cycle. You look at BNB. Yeah, BNB is pretty ridiculous right now. I want to try to finish up Bitcoin though, and then I'll look at some shitcoins. Fern, can you ask that when I get to altcoins? I was wrong. I wanted to say exhaustion. Yeah, that would be a better argument for sure. No problem. Bitcoin weekly looks amazing, but if we close around here, I think it will leg up, to be honest. Yeah, definitely looks bullish. I'll never give up. Good luck. I know you hate candle closes, but high time frame provide great signals. Yeah, I mean they can. It's just, you do you. If that's something you want to use, then go for it. Will you be bullish if we close the daily above 70K? On some level, yeah. I really am more so looking for price structure more than anything. I want to see time and volume transacted up here above 70K to have that pivot. But yes, in a simplistic way, I would say yes. You don't look at 4x negative. For those that are new here, keep watching Maga streams. I've learned a lot from him since 21. For one of the few good traders that... Oh, thanks, Jail. You didn't need to say all that, bro. Good morning, Nerd Master. What's your favorite nerd from the movies? Damn, dude. I don't know. Hit me with the real heavy-hitting questions. I really don't, can't think of who my favorite nerd character off the top of my head would be. Maybe I'll come back to that, Ryan. Magus Dunning-Kruger 2.0 videos, GOAT status. Thanks, Nikki. He's kind of looking weak. Yeah, I'll cover ETH. So yeah, I caught up with chat, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and ignore chat for a minute and get through the final touches on Bitcoin, and then we'll move over into ETH, Solana, and other shitters. Get some water really quickly. My allergies have been terrible for like a week now. All right, so this is my plan going into the week, right? At the beginning of the week, we were at like 68K, 68.5, whatever. And I, you know, was essentially using 70K level as, you know, line in the sand, right? So if we trade up and reject off 70K, we bleed down to 62. If we get up over 70K, build some value and chop up over here, then that's maybe a trigger for us to break out. The hardest thing for me is the seasonality aspect is a major headwind, right? It's not common at all for Bitcoin to break out of a range in this time of the year. If you look at, you know, what it did last year, it did something similar-ish, where it did this, and then like went right back into chop mode, right? So there's part of me that's worried about it doing something like that. But realistically, either way, I think we're trading up higher this year. It's just a matter of, is this going to be the successful breakout, or is this going to get bonked down? From a premium standpoint, okay, premiums are finally starting to flip. There's been a pretty substantial Coinbase discount for a while, though, which is not ideal. I would not be actively shorting this. The only thing I would be doing was potentially running a hedge, but I'm already in a hedge from 70K, so I don't need to fuck with that anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, as far as medium time frame goes, this is the main argument for the week: is, are we going to get through 70K, or are we going to get rejected? Medium time frame structure is pretty bullish, right? It started out bearish, and then we had that structural shift over here. So as of now, you know, medium time frame structure is bullish. So I don't know, guys. I'm not going to be super quick to pivot, because I'd rather be a tiny bit late than early to it, but it's looking like she wants to break out. So I'm personally going to be happy either way. If it rejects here, then I get to chill more for the summertime and focus on my life and stuff. If we break out here, I'll lose a little bit of money on my hedge, but I still have all my core spot positioning, so, you know, it's basically win-win for me. However, which way we go, it's either going to be time to make money or time to chill. So I'm pretty content either direction we go. It is kind of looking like it wants to break out. I need a little bit more out of it before I would feel super confident in that, though. ETH looking weak. Okay, I already read that. We'll look at ETH in a moment. Tensor showing strength. Yeah, I like. I've been a big fan of Tensor since way before the token existed. So yeah, I'll cover Tensor. I bought more Tensor recently. I think because it's election year. Yeah, so I mean, I only said that the headwind is the seasonality. The tailwind for the market right now, though, is the political aspect or political element and ETH. So the ETH ETF getting approved is a headwind, or is a tailwind, right, for Bitcoin and for the aggregate of the market. It's a helpful, right? It's going to help us. And same thing with the political side. So yeah, I think that both of those things matter a lot. If we do break out on Bitcoin, what would you target? Probably into the 80s. So I would, you know, I'm just spitballing, right? Because I don't believe in fibs or any sort of like auto-drawn bullshit. So just eyeballing it. Actually, could probably do a better job if I come to this chart. It's probably, I would be able to make it to like 88K in my opinion, if we do break out here. If we break out from this, then it will be something like this. Hopefully you get some lower time frame chop up here. Impulse move, chop, weak continuation impulse move that builds out the larger range. We'll redraw that for clouts. There you go. Screenshot it. We're going to kiss 88K and then build a range below it. Alright, for the new guys, I'm just fucking making shit up right now, right? Because nobody has a fucking clue how this is going to play out. Alright, I'm going to get into ETH here in a moment after I finish up the chat. Equities look quite solid right now. Yeah, that's what I was seeing as well. It looks... most alts, yeah, alts are looking like shit. That's been the name of the game all cycle long, right? Most altcoins look bad. You have a small select handful of altcoins that are good. And if you don't know how to pick good altcoins, then you're having a bad time this cycle. But you've come to the right place, because most every stream I explain how to sort good coins from bad. Coinbase trading above Bybit now. I don't really care about Bybit as much, but yeah. You need to believe. I do believe. I don't want you guys to hear my takes and think I'm bearish, right? There's a difference between, you know, overall market thesis direction or whatever you want to call it versus risk, right? I have very high conviction that we go up higher this year. I just don't want to be exposed in a way where if I'm wrong, I'm going to lose a lot of money. That's what it comes down to. So I think we're going to trade up. I don't want to be, I don't want to carry more risk than I need to. No problem, simple. Insane high time frame chart. Yeah, Bitcoin looks fucking insane, right? You zoom out. I mean, the weekly looks. Look at the weekly. I don't really ever go to the weekly or the monthly, but I mean, the weekly and the monthly look absolutely insane right now. I mostly just go to 3 days, the highest time frame I normally go to. But yeah, it looks absolutely bonkers right now. This cake, of course, the bottom is in yet. Tensor bottom is in because I bought. Doge rips past 17.5 this go and goes back to below 20s, consolidates. It's dog meme time. I hope so, because I'm bagged up on the dog meme. All right, so let me get into let's work our way down in some shitters. I'm gonna start off with ETH here. So ETH's relative strength against Bitcoin, not ideal. We definitely want to see this chart go up, right? If ETH BTC doesn't put in a survival move and bounce it soon, then the ETH narrative starts to die in the short term. You really need to see that kind of price moving upwards to confirm that thesis for people. Overall, I don't think the ETH looks terrible, but realistically, I mean, Bitcoin looks really good too, so why wouldn't ETH look good? For me, like I'm not overexposed on the ETH play by any means. I do have some spot ETH in the portfolio, but nothing super crazy. I want to see ETH BTC hold up strong. Otherwise, the likelihood of us trading lower. I mean, I think the main risk that we're running into with things like ETH and whatnot is that ETH could do really well and the narrative could play out perfectly, but it could go down first, right? And that's where people are kind of set up to not protect themselves and they're ready to get fucked, basically. So, yeah, I mean, the short of ETH is that I've had that conviction for a long time that this would be a big play. I just never wanted to be quick to allocating aggressively to it because the argument of just, holding things that aren't doing anything, right? So yeah, that's pretty much on ETH. What's up, Double R? Thank you, brother. Let's be honest, ETH doesn't have a narrative until we see flows outperform. Yeah, I mean, more or less would agree. Price going up would confirm the narrative in people's minds. Another one that I want to talk about, Solana, right? So, you guys that have been watching for a long time know I'm a huge Solana bull, very optimistic on this one. If Solana, my rate at the beginning of the week was that Solana wanted to pull back. If Solana trades back into this like 140, 130 area, giga bull buy territory down here. If it wants to break out over 175, then maybe it goes into tax 200. I don't really care which way it goes. If it goes down, I might, slap on some more risk. If it goes up, well, I'm going to be happy that my second biggest bag is going up. But yeah, don't have too much to say on Solana. It looks really good. It looks good on the high time frame is what I mean. Like, it looks more choppy on the medium. I'm not trying to contradict myself super hard. Do you think fading the time targets consensus? Everyone thinks we chop for now. Might work, like fading price targets consensus. Yeah, I mean, so I try not to come up with my bigger picture plans because of what other people are doing. But yeah, if a lot of other people think the same thing as me, then that's worrying. So you could always have the situation where a lot of the summertime chop has already happened and that we get ready to break out here soon and leave people left behind because people probably think we're going to chop for longer. If I was just trading entirely in a vacuum and not caring about other people, then I would say we keep chopping. But the fact that that's become consensus is worrying for me. It really comes down to with those kind of topics, you gotta be early to those theses and have it really be your own and not just copy. A lot of people that are saying that shit are saying it now because it's already happened. They're like news reporters that are just saying that like this is the temperature outside today, or they're people just copying others that came up with that before them. So yeah, it's a valid argument. I am slowly shifting more in favor of us breaking upwards, but I'm just trying to find the right balance between caring about what other people are saying as far as being on the same side as me versus doing my own thing, trying to find the right balance there. Gut feel is that the market is just waiting for ETF date to be announced before ETH starts ripping. I mean, theoretically, we learned this with Bitcoin, right? That like the actual direct ETF flows don't have a huge impact on price because we're doing way more volume than they are. It's the same kind of argument with ETH, but theoretically they should be buying ETH already to be backing the products. So yeah, I kind of thought that like when the ETFs go live, that would be the sell the news kind of period. But we'll see how it plays out. Who knows? SHIB had a flash moment 12 hours ago where like 40 million was transacted within a minute. Would you say it's forming a dolly? So I mean, out of all the large cap memes, SHIB is my least favorite. I do own it, but I don't like this coin at all. I mean, it looks so much. I know everybody on your timeline last week was saying it looked good when it was over here, right? But I just don't like this coin that much. So is Shiba setting up a dolly play? It could be. There's a big problem though. I mean, like for me, this is not something I'm ever gonna bet on because that's not how I trade dollies, right? Like dollies are occurring in a vacuum where it's a very specific thing where the aggregate of the market goes down together and you see aggregate open interest wiped. I don't really care about like I don't run dollies on individual charts. CT discourse has been hilarious the past week or so. Suddenly everyone has the same thesis. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Especially because I was, like, last week, I was getting reply guys saying that I was copying other people's plans and shit when, like, not over here trying to be right or anything stupid like that, but I can tell you I'm definitely not copying other people's theses. I don't give two shits about what other people are saying. Even my friends that I hold in high regard and have respect, you know. I was having a chat with Sting last week. Sting was thinking we were going to break out soon. And I was telling him I think we're going to chop. He was literally my mentor and taught me a lot. I don't care, though. It's no disrespect to him, but I'm going to do my own thing. Let's see. Magus, do you remember the ticker of that one coin that you traded to death towards the end of 2022? I think it started with a T. Tom coin or Tom B. Sorry, brother. I don't really remember. There's a lot of coins that were like that back then. I mean, Gallo was one of the big coins that I decimated Gala. But yeah, I mean, sorry, Lucifer, I don't remember exactly which one you're talking about. 2022 feels like an eternity ago, and yeah, I don't remember what coins I was shorting that long ago. I think Ethereum ETF trading date will most likely dump, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that the ETF going live is going to be when the sell news comes. There are tens of billions of inflows into ETFs. Yeah, bro, but think about it, right? If those guys are buying 300 million in a day and then Binance does 5 billion that day, I mean, is it really that important? That's the argument that I'm making, and I've heard other people make it, and it's a legitimate argument that during the kind of consolidation stages or the accumulation stages for the Bitcoin ETF, they're not doing actually that much volume relative to the market as a whole. So a lot of the argument basically is that a lot of the flows that drive price up are front running or speculating around the ETF flows themselves. CME has also had huge open interest these days. A lot of people ignoring it, still looking at my Bybit and stuff too much. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to CME. I do see more people thinking the summer is gonna moon. To be honest, yeah. I mean, I get, yeah. I mean, that's why the whole sentiment analysis thing is a dumb, you know, is dumb, right? Because it's like subjective, right, and not really data driven. You're the angry GCR, nice. It's better than the gay GCR, or I was calling Charlie's the retarded GCR. So. All right, so you guys are starting to throw tickers in here. We'll look at some here and there. I'm gonna pick and choose what I actually want to look at. So we're 2 people asking about TRB. TRB looks rough, right? Structuring looks terrible on TRB. The main reason why I like TRB for trading is just because it's a scam cartel coin. So if it's high tick, it's tradable. But just the structure itself, it looks pretty cooked and looks like something I would be ignoring. What the fuck? What is this 30-day rolling VWAP? There wasn't even that much volume. What the fuck are they doing on TRB that is making... Look at this VWAP, guys. Look at the yellow-orange line. I know it's hard for you to see. Once it gets into the beginning of the monthly, it's going to space while the chart's going down. That is very, very weird. DFW is doing some weird shit on the TRB perp right now, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't really have anything constructive to say on TRB. Just looking at the chart itself, I would ignore it. The only reason why I would trade this is if it became super high tick, but I would probably just ignore it. BNB, yeah, so we can look at BNB really quickly. I haven't taken any trades on it, but it has been one that I've been saying looks super bullish. All right, I mean, if you have, this is the yearly value area high, and this is price structuring. Literally triangle memeing above the value area high like that, pretty bullish. So the fact that it's breaking up is of zero surprise to me. It's obviously going to fuck with, you know, flirt with its all-time high around 700. I would not fade this thing. I would never fade BNB even if the price structuring looked bad, but it looks very, very strong, and dips are for buying on anything that looks like this. When are we going to bring back all the smack talk? I think all of your followers miss being called idiots and dumb fucks, etc. It makes me trade better. Did I ever do that much, though? I know that I talk shit to you guys sometimes, but I feel like I don't do it that much. So you guys should hear what my conversation with my real friends sound like. Jesus, you guys are motherfuckers be chatting. All right, so I need to be more toxic to the chatters. Got it. I can work on that. TRB was more 2023, though. No, yeah, for sure. TRB was a hot coin last year. I made many, many trades on that. Will we ever get a Zcash season again? Probably not, bro. Give me 1.5 on Tensor. Yeah, so you can do Tensor really quickly. I really like the look of Tensor right now. So I've already rambled about this a bunch of times, but essentially every kind of reason why I would be bullish on a coin. Tensor has all of them. It has the fundamentals. It has the chart. Betting on my friend, etc., etc. So I bought Tensor. I got airdropped when it originally came out, and I just bought some this weekend. My plan is for it to pull back and buy more. So structurally, this thing looks really good. It looks like downside momentum is lost, and now it's even starting to pivot, you know, towards more of a bullish structuring, right? Flipping the VWAP. It looks good. So, right, I want to see it drive down and erase all my unrealized P&L that I have on it currently, and then buy it again, or buy more, to take this thing to $4.20. That's obviously where this thing's going to go. So yeah, we like Tensor. I would, you know, you do you, but you're gonna appreciate it if you buy this thing. If it goes down lower and you buy it, you're gonna feel like a Chad in 3 weeks. We're saying this TRB was the scalping one. Okay, yeah, I don't know what the tick rate on it is, and that's the main thing. Could have been Tomo. I don't think I didn't short Tomo though, man. Could be though, I guess. You look at BNB breakout and positioning on AI coins like Render and World. Yeah, so I already did BNB really quickly. Render. So yeah, Render, I you know, kind of had the vibe that it was going to trade down lower. Somewhere over here, I thought we would trade lower than we did. I don't really know, like, in order to get something on Render, I'd have to do medium time frame. Render doesn't look ready to break out by any means for me, so yeah, I mean, I'm not super interested in playing AI coins right now. I am definitely much more interested in playing AI, or not AI, excuse me, playing RWA and memes right now. That's what I'm mainly focused on. If I wanted to buy this thing, you know, just buy a pullback at the monthly VWAP or something, to be honest. This is a very much a gamble if you buy this, though. There's not a clear direction, you know, a trend that you're playing or anything, so I don't like this one as much. We can look at WorldCoin. Same argument, but even worse, right? Like, I don't personally, I would rather wait for it to do this and, like, start to go up and then buy it, versus buying it here. This is just such a gamble to buy it here. I just don't like, I don't like these coins right now, and I don't really like AI in general right now as a play. I don't think it's that great. Areas of interest on ETH, I'm looking at 60 or 36.5. Yeah, so everybody wants to buy this area, which is a concerning thing. So for me, it's either going to do a very shallow pullback, as in it either is done, maybe it does a tiny bit more of a pullback, or it goes much lower, right? These are the two kind of scenarios. If everyone wants to buy here, you either front run it or you go lower. I think that this is what I've said the last couple of times. I think the front run play is what's most likely, so the ETH just doesn't go that low and doesn't give people the opportunity to buy it. It was Tomo? Okay. I don't remember. Fed's going to cut next week. We'll see. I don't think they really have any reason to do so, but alright. Thinky Stacks, what happened to Tomo? It got delisted, brother. Magus is toxic as fuck. Confirmed. I missed my Tensor entry. Where would you look to get back in? So I already had it denoted on the chart. Super ideal would be as low as like 110 to 115 basically is where you would want to buy. You might have to buy a little bit higher potentially. Nice try. I think there's going to be a Cardano and Polkadot summer. Somebody help this man. Because I don't think that's a troll. That seems like a troll, but it's not. Martin. My guy. Abandon your old boomer coins and find new coins, or forever live in pain. Shout out to Mag for shilling Tensor. Yeah, so I shilled Tensor way before it even had a token or anything. Because I was telling people that you should LP on Tensor almost 2 years ago now. But it's because I'm friends with somebody that's on the team, so it was a no-brainer play. You always bet on the homies. Loaded up on it. Good to hear, Simple. Tensor forming the Big Booty Classic. Yes, it is. FET. Yeah, we can look at FET. It's probably going to be what I just said with the other two AIs, though. I don't really like the AI coins right now. What I will say is you want to keep a close eye on FET over the next 10 days. But, yeah, I don't like the token right now. CHETP hit. Congrats, bro. Nice, Sean. How do you manage FOMO, Magus? You simply learn to just not care. So you get into markets, you see people on social media posting this and that and this and that, and you feel all this sense of, you know, self-doubt and feeling of missing out. All these kind of emotions come up, right? Trade for long enough, especially if you make some money here and there, or you build up some confidence, you just stop caring. So I'm just so far past the days where I'm going to care about missing a trade or anything like that. So it really, managing FOMO, it just comes from time in the markets is probably the best way to explain it. You just trade for long enough that you just say, fuck it, I don't care anymore. If tomorrow ETH goes 40% and I sold all my ETH the day before or whatever, and I'm sidelined for ETH going 40%, I'm not going to, I'll be a little bit mad at myself for selling my ETH, but I'm not going to feel any FOMO to chase into it. There's always another opportunity. Sorry, Simple. I don't really want to look at on-chain shitters like that. Ask Charlie or Doc to do it. Doc's in the chat grinding his teeth right now hearing me say that. I've long predicted the emergence of MAGA Magus. You're crazy, bruv. Can we get a look at BONK? Yeah, no problem, dude. Let's look at BONK. So yeah, out of all the meme coins, BONK is one of the better looking ones. It's definitely nowhere near as good as PEPE, but it's a good looking coin. I like the structure on it. I am an owner of BONK. As I've said on streams many times, I own every large cap meme. Although I did sell some of them recently. Sold a bunch of my Trump token the other day and stuff, with the intention of buying it back. So yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say on the BONK. It's a good coin. We like the memes. WorldCoin fully diluted value is 100 billion. And crazy enough, it can still go up. All right, so we've been streaming for an hour and 14 minutes. I'm gonna run through some charts on my own here. If there's any last second shit you guys want, just throw it in the chat. I'm gonna wrap up the stream here in probably like 15 minutes or so. Didn't look at PEPE this morning. PEPE is still just an absolute monster. Although I did sell some PEPE the other day, not sold the whole bag or anything. I just scaled it down. I'd love to see PEPE do a steep bloody pullback to buy. Give us a little, you know, 20% or 25%er. Still a huge, massive fan of ONDO. So I sold some ONDO the other day at $1.40. I felt like I couldn't sell it. I was long from 60 cents on ONDO, and I sold a bunch the other day. I still have a bag, but I basically sold this at 40 cents so that it can keep going up and that everybody else can make money. That's what I said in the group. Still have a bag though, so if it rips up, I'm not gonna be too down bad on it. But I sold like 35%. Still really like TON. This thing's a monster. We already looked at BONK. Damn, Trump is recovering. So I wanted to see Trump break down further. I sold a bunch of Trump at 16. So I'd like to see this go down lower towards like 10 or 11 and then buy it back. Like I said on Tensor, I bought a bunch of Tensor the other day at like $1.11. I'd like to see it come basically all the way back to my entry and buy more. So I got airdropped and I bought some. So I have a pretty good bag of Tensor going on. I don't really care about these other more. ENA doesn't look terrible, but I mean, I think that Tensor just looks so much better for that type of play. JTO still looks pretty good overall. PENDLE still looks really good. Weave still looks incredibly good. Like Doge is just like patiently waiting for its moment. Once Doge flips this quarterly VWAP, this little magic red line, once this gets flipped, which I think is coming soon, I think Doge is honestly going to be ready to move again. So I know I'm partially coping because I'm just holding a bag that's been chopping, but yeah, I mean, very confident on Doge. My average entry is 13 cents or like 13.2 or something like that. So I'm chilling. I think this will go up a lot higher this cycle. I already went over the AI coins. You can look at WIF. WIF looks pretty fucking good, not gonna lie. WIF looks good. BNB looks really good. And that's probably where it's gonna get, you know, pretty much over from there. Jupiter doesn't look terrible. Phantom looks okay. Dusk looks pretty good. Dusk is my second RWA bag. I own Ondo and Dusk. And that's pretty much it, right? Folky looks good. And then pretty much every other altcoin from then on out is probably going to look bad, right? So those are all the good coins that I'm aware of. And then pretty much every other coin looks like fucking garbage. Link is kind of fighting for its life. Link is not looking too terrible. But, you know, look at all these shitters. They all just look so bad. That's the name of the game for these markets, right? You got like 10 to 15 coins that are good and everything else is shit. Any DFW coins that you're looking at buying? Not really. For those kind of plays, I just scalp them. I don't do anything long term. I think Woo is a good looking short. Yeah, so I don't, you know, unless we're in a bear market, I don't really short stuff that much other than hedging. I don't know what to say on this one. I wouldn't short this, brother. It's not showing, it doesn't have relative strength by any means, but the structure isn't bearish enough. Like, you're shorting into the value area low of the year, right? I mean, like, you need to see this trade up higher, closer to 40 cents before it's justifiable short, in my opinion. PolyX, yeah, that's another RWA coin that I've watched a little bit but haven't traded. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It looks like Doge basically, right? So it looks like any coins that look like this are very middle of the pack. Well, actually, because of the pack is so terrible, it's not middle of the pack. It's like upper lows of the pack. Or lower uppers. Retardio. When underwater on a trade and want to exit, how do you determine whether to wait for a pullback? So you can use limit chase exits closer to entry because obviously it runs the risk of continuing to the stop loss. So for most of you, I would say that using the limit chase thing isn't really going to matter as much. You know, I mean, maybe if you're a larger trader, then it matters more. For me, a lot of the time, like gauging whether I should hold on to it or not is going to be about structure and flows, right? So if I buy something and it goes into a lower time frame downtrend, I'm kind of looking for whether or not I think it's going to bounce or not. Some of the determining factors for that are going to be what is the flows looking like and what is the like VWAP structuring looking like, right? If I want to sell this thing but it just pulled back into the yearly VWAP, well, I probably don't want to sell it into the yearly VWAP, right? I want to wait for it to bounce from the yearly and then sell it. So just like structure and flows is the answer. Thoughts on Litecoin? Bruv, I'm about to bully your shit. Doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but it's, yeah, I mean, there's just no point in picking this, to be honest. Steep bloody pullback. It sounded British for a second. I am British. Pendle is nice. Yes, we like the Pendle. Pendle is good. RLC. It doesn't look terrible. Definitely not terrible. Okay, yeah, Josh, so that information mostly is concerning for scalping. I don't think you put the scalping comment in your first question. So yeah, I care a lot more about being precise with scalping. My mother-in-law is asking if you can chart XRP. Tell your mother-in-law to go back to work. Mag, I'm up bigly on Jasmine. I haven't really looked at this coin in a while. Is that it? Jesus. Planning to hold through the bull run, but I think I should take profit some now. That's vertical. How would you play it? I mean, dude, it's lose-lose for me. If I tell you to take profit on this thing, then we're going to come back next stream and it's going to be double. If I don't tell you to take profit, it's going to be all the way back here. I'm going to be 100%, dude. I will probably be taking profit on this thing. It reminds me of like PEPE, right? You know, I could keep going up, but like when things look like this, where I mean, it's very similar. PEPE is just a little bit further along and down its line. Especially if you see that Jasmine ticker start to go sideways, start selling some, bruv. I sold some PEPE the other day for that exact kind of reason. BTC rallies to 88K while most participants are stuck in shitters. Sounds beautiful. Yes. Sounds like the most likely of scenarios too. It's been absolutely mind-boggling for me to kind of learn that people aren't making money this cycle because they're buying bad shitters. How does that happen? Tell your mother if you want to tell. You look at Brett, negative. I don't really want to do on-chain shitters, especially because they use my logo. I don't want to really be affiliated with them. All right, my friends. So, where are we at? I covered Bitcoin thoughts. I did a quick ETH and Solana. I looked at the coins that I like. I looked at some of the coins you wanted to look at, and that's pretty much it. Probably going to leave it there, so I'll hang out for another couple of minutes, and then I'm going to pop out here shortly. I got stuff to do today. Somebody's blowing up my fucking DMs right now on Discord. What a nerd. It's probably Charlie or somebody I'm friends with, but fuck them. My bad shitter investment was actually Doge. I feel like it's been stuck at 16-cent century forever. I mean, I don't really think that you should consider Doge as a shitter. Doge is like the biggest large cap, out of all the memes. So, Doge is still my third largest bag right now. So I'm right there with you in the sense that opportunity cost has been cooking me a little bit, but I have such high conviction in the Doge trade. And I guess that's probably an issue for some of you guys. You buy this because you hear me say I think it's good, but maybe you don't have that same long-term conviction for me. If you go back to my videos where I talked about Doge originally, I never said it was something that was going to happen in a couple of weeks, right? Go back and watch clips of me talking about it. It's always going to be me saying 6 months and a year and things like that, how long I'm going to wait for it. So just got to be patient with the dog coin. It's going to work. I can feel it in my plums. Always a pleasure. Thanks, my guy. Thanks for a great stream. No problem. Good luck, everybody. Good luck, everybody, indeed. All right, so that's going to be it for me. On your way out, if you could press that like button. If you're not already subscribed, do that as well. I would appreciate it. Where does your conviction for Doge come from, Mag? Is it because larger capital can hold the meme play? I have like a lot of different reasons. It's the Bitcoin of memes is one of the phrases that I coined originally when I first started getting bullish on Doge. It just has every kind of thing that I was looking for. I think that memes are going to do incredibly well. So why wouldn't I want to have a large allocation in the big liquid meme coin? All it takes is one Elon tweet to get Doge really heated up again and to go into king mode. So also, I mean, I could sit here and say all a bunch of smart things, but really I'm just being dumb with things like Doge. Like, it's going to go up because that's what the low IQ part of me says. So that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to pop out. For those of you guys that have been following me on Twitter, I've been posting a lot more charts recently. I'm going to be doing a lot of that moving forward. So yeah, let me know in the comments and stuff if you're enjoying that, and it will hopefully compel me to do more of it. So yeah, that's it for me. I will see you guys next week. Cheers.